Welcome to Squirrel Trails. I'm David.
And I'm Al.
Today, we're going to start a series on blockchain and cryptocurrency. We're going to first start off with how blockchain works, because without blockchain, there would be no cryptocurrency. So we're going to start a series and hope you enjoy. We're going to kind of take all the verbiage, break it down, and make it simple.
And this is going to be a learning process for us as well as we do this. So join us for the ride.
Welcome to Squirrel Trails. I'm David.
And I'm Al.
Today we're going to start a series on cryptocurrency and blockchain.
So this is going to be kind of interesting because we're going to be learning this as we go. For the most part, David's been spending way too much time listening to videos or listening to audio and research as much as he ever researches. But he's been living this for the last week. I know a little bit. And I know many of you are probably going to know more, but feel free to comment and help us as we learn and maybe educate some others.
So we're going to actually do a probably a slideshow, which is new to our channel, having us off the screen and only an image.
So we're going to probably do a slideshow. You don't know yet?
Oh,
just checking.
Again, non-scripted channel. So we're going to do a slideshow.
Thank you.
Sorry, got to get the terminology right. So we're going to do a slideshow and kind of go step by step, breaking everything down to concepts. Hopefully we won't have like an hour-long video on one thing. So we're going to start off with blockchain, because without blockchain, cryptocurrency wouldn't exist. So that's where we're going to start off with blockchain and understanding the flow of blockchain and how it works.
And just because I'm going to be a bit anal on this, and those of you who know me, that's not a bit of a surprise. Blockchains are used for a lot of other things besides cryptocurrencies.
Very true. And
we're using them a lot in business, or beginning to use them a lot in business because of the digital ledger, the digital ledger component. And so understanding this has a lot of value, even if you're not playing around with cryptocurrency. And what is the value of cryptocurrency?
Well, let's not get into that discussion, because I will go on a 4-hour rant.
and did this morning.
on the how do you determine the value of something. So yeah, but actually that's a good start on blockchain is ledgers.
Okay.
Because in 1991, blockchain became a theory. There was a couple guys that put this together, to put this theory together. And so with that, we're going to start off with that and go to the slideshow. So what is blockchain? Blockchain is essentially, when it comes down to it, a ledger.
All right. So we write with it.
We write with it. We do, actually. We can rewrite. So, and you're of an older age.
So is dirt.
Not that old. You're just older than
I remember when ledgers were on big sheets of paper that were really thick books, and we wrote on them, and my penmanship actually mattered back then.
Exactly. So, we say we have person, we have Sam.
Okay.
We are going to have Bob.
Oh, here, I thought you were going to do Drew.
No.
It's a radio show we listen to, guys.
Okay, so we're going to have Sam, Bob, we're going to have
Alice.
Joe.
Okay. He just wrote down Joy. Yeah. Joy would have worked too.
Yeah, true. And then we're going to have, let's see, App.
Okay.
Okay?
So one I can remember.
One that you know. Well, two that you know.
I know a Bob too.
Okay, we know about 2. 3 that you know. Okay, so.
Actually, I know a Joe too.
So look at that. All people that you know.
Yes.
And hopefully subscribe to our channel. So, when Sam wants to, we're going to create a ledger. So how does a ledger start?
Okay.
A ledger starts with everybody knows, or someone has money.
Okay.
Or we're going with money just because it's a lot easier to describe.
Yes, we'll go with money.
Because you can't separate. Well, you can't separate property, but
Stop it.
we're gonna be okay. So we're gonna say that Sam has $100.
Okay.
And because we live in the U.S., we're saying dollars and not whatever your currency is.
Euro,
Because
one,
it's just easier for me to understand.
Deutschmark.
So Sam wants to send Bob money.
Okay.
So Sam will put in her ledger, okay?
Okay.
Her ledger, that she's gonna send money to Bob.
Okay.
And she's gonna send, let's say, $25.
Okay.
Okay? So now she sends Bob $25.
I can do that with my bank right now.
You can't.
In fact, I do it to you way too often.
I'm not talking about that. Bank of Dad. Everybody knows Bank of Dad. So,
Why isn't there Bank of Mom?
I'm not gonna
Again, not going there.
not going there. Okay, so now Bob is going to send Al money.
Okay.
He's going to send. Bob's going to send Al $20.
All right.
Okay. So in this ledger, it's all one page. Now, and it's the ledger also shows that Bob, instead of having $25, it also shows that Bob now is just $5. Okay, and it also shows that Sam has $75.
So what happened to the $25 he had for Bob?
25. So Sam sent Bob
$25.
$25.
Right.
So it shows in the ledger that Sam sent Bob $25.
Right.
It also shows that Sam now has a total. Sam's total is now 75,
Okay.
and Bob's total is now 25.
Okay. Got it.
Okay? And then Bob, and remember, Bob sends Al $20. So
Okay.
in the ledger, Bob's going to put down that Bob is sending Al $20.
Okay.
Okay?
I always like that.
So
Bob
now,
can send me money all he
in
wants.
the ledger, it also shows, now it shows Bob having only $5.
Right.
Bob's account only shows 5.
Okay.
Al's account now actually shows $20.
Yep.
Okay. Again, now we're gonna send Al. You're gonna send Joe $5.
Yeah, I don't like Joe very much, so he only gets 5.
He only gets
got,
5.
Got it.
Okay. So in the ledger, it's gonna show that your account balance is now 15. So Al's account balance is now 15. Joe, a balance of $5,
Okay.
and showing that Al sent Joe $5.
Okay.
So all on one page. So this is shared. For
Okay.
ledger, most people's ledger back in the day,
Yep.
you just kept your own. No one else could see what was in your ledger.
Right.
Unless they asked.
Right. And occasion, and I could do things with it too.
You could mess with it.
I could.
Okay. And this is kind of.
It's the reason I had a job before as an auditor. Because people messed with them.
This is why auditors exist. And actually, yep, exactly. And so this is kind of the big purpose around having the blockchain being open.
Okay.
So when all this happens, every time a transaction happens,
Okay.
it goes to everybody. Everybody gets a copy of it
Automatically.
automatically. So,
Right away.
So not right away. So depending on the blockchain you're in,
Right.
it may take, like Bitcoin. This transaction happens every 10 minutes. In other currencies, Ethereum, it may happen in 5 minutes, or 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes.
Okay, so let's back up just a little bit.
Sure.
So let's make the case here that Sam has sent the money to Bob, and Bob immediately sends the money to Al, who immediately sends the money to Joe.
Okay.
Right? Okay. All of that happened within the same 10-minute period.
No.
Oh, okay. Why not?
Well, because currently because when Sam sent the money,
Yep.
Bob didn't have an account.
Okay. All right.
So like when you deposit a check,
Yep.
say from I work, I get my check from my boss,
All right.
that goes into my account. Is that money automatically there currently?
Technically, no, but the bank generally gives you credit for it.
Up to $100.
Depends on the bank, depends on your credit rating, et cetera.
Sure. Usually up to $100 or
And,
whatever
and,
it is.
and let's remember, at some point in time, we're explaining blockchain.
We'll get
and-
there.
okay.
So this is the basis around blockchain.
Okay,
So a ledger is the foundation of the blockchain.
Okay, so we're talking about how a ledger works.
How a ledger works.
Okay, cool.
Because this is going to go into how a blockchain works.
All right. Folks,
So-
again, I said you're going to go along for the ride.
Yep. So stay tuned to the entire thing. This is going to be a good video to kind of watch throughout the whole thing instead of just skipping ahead.
Okay,
So otherwise, this won't make any sense. So
we're making an assumption.
so that's how. So this happens. This.
So all these, so the transactions started occurring and they get recorded in a ledger.
In a ledger,
One at
yep.
a time. So the first one was Sam sent Bob $25 and that
Yes.
got recorded.
And that got recorded.
Okay. And Bob can't do anything with it
Right away.
Right. Why not?
Because we'll get there.
Okay.
Just under.
So will Bob.
So that again. So 10 minutes.
Okay,
So
got
it's-
it.
He needs.
Yep.
So it needs that
Okay,
10 minutes.
so-
Just like the bank, you deposit money.
Yep.
He can't automatically withdraw the $5
Okay.
grand that he just made.
Because it's got to be recorded
It's
someplace.
recorded.
There we go.
So the recording is done in the ledger,
Okay.
and then once this ledger page is done,
Okay.
it's finalized. So it has to go through proof of concept.
Okay.
So then, because it gets shared. So once that happens, and we'll go into proof of concept down the road.
And at some point in time, we'll actually walk through some of the mechanics of this a little bit more so it makes some sense.
Yep. So, and then this is shared. So every time a transaction is done, the page, the block, so a page or a block is essentially the same thing. So once this is done,
Okay.
everybody gets notified that all this happened.
Okay. So, but does everybody get notified once all 4 transactions have happened or just when the first transaction gets happened?
They get notified when the page, the block, is complete.
Okay.
And that is done mathematically.
Good. Okay.
So once that page is, that 10 minutes is up,
Right.
so if this happens, if only 3 of these transactions happened within 10 minutes,
Yep.
that would be one block, one page.
And there's a bunch of other transactions that could be occurring
yes.
as well.
So this is not just these 4, there's
Right.
millions.
Okay.
And so, but this is showing keeping record. So
Okay.
everybody has a record of this.
Right.
And everybody can see that this transaction is happening.
Okay.
You can go, oh, look, Al is sending Joe $5.
Joe, don't tell anybody.
He already did.
Okay.
Part of the chain.
Okay. Well.
So, and then they can also see that your balance went from 20 to 5.
Okay. Because the ledger is being shared.
The ledger is shared. The ledger is open for anybody to see.
Okay. So, all right. So the ledger can be able to show what the balances are.
Yep.
It knows internally what Sam's balance is or what Bob's balance
Because
is.
it keeps track.
Okay, got it.
So it's essentially an open account that everybody can see what every account has.
So everybody writes on this ledger.
Everybody writes on this ledger.
Okay.
Joe writes on it. Bob writes on it. Whoever does a transaction, they're writing on the ledger.
Right. And so the ledger is essentially somewhere up in the cloud.
Yes.
It's shared in some
Shared.
form or fashion.
Yes.
Okay.
So now here is currently
Okay.
on a paper ledger
Right.
that people keep to themselves, they don't share. If Sam sent Al $100, she could write that in her ledger.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And probably should.
Except she only has 75.
Why did she send me 100?
Because she wants you to think she has $100.
Okay.
She wants to trick the system.
Okay.
Trick her log.
So in banking, we call this writing a bad check.
Writing a bad check. Yes.
Okay. Kiting is the technical term.
Again.
Sorry, squirrel.
Or to try to keep the technical terms to a minimum. With us, that is difficult. So, now, but in an open ledger,
Okay.
when Sam tries to send Al $100, and she tries to put that in the ledger,
Right.
when she, so let's say, so this ledger is done.
Okay.
Yeah. So before we go into Sam's part, so that ledger was created. All those
Okay.
transactions happened.
Okay.
Okay. So now we're starting a new block, a new ledger page. Okay. And on that, it shows that Sam only has $75.
Okay.
It shows that Bob only has $5. It shows that Al only has $15, and it shows that Joe only has $5.
Okay. And okay.
So
We're not going to walk through how that happens, but yes.
Updates.
Okay.
That's what we will get there. Yes.
Yes.
Again, you're getting ahead, just like my brain. So, on this new page, it shows all the balances of everything.
So the ledger has this running total, and it currently has this value.
This value.
Okay. And there could be hundreds of people here.
Yes.
Okay.
We're just only doing 4 this time.
Right.
So,
This is called a Vancourt currency.
Sam now wants to send Al that $100.
Okay.
When
I
Sam
like that thought.
in the ledger writes down Sam sending Al $100.
All right.
When this block then, okay, so this block then gets formulated.
Okay.
Okay. And this is sent out to everybody.
So this block has it with a transaction that says $100 from Sam to Al.
Yep.
And then it's shared with everybody.
Yeah, so she could do this. She could try to send you $100.
Right.
When it's then shared, that when the block is created,
Yep.
and it's shared to everybody,
Right.
Bob over here goes, wait a minute, Sam can't do that. She doesn't have $100.
Right. So he goes back and says, that looks wrong.
So he goes back and says, no, Sam can't do that.
Okay.
And Sam goes, yeah, I can have $100. It's just you. Okay. Joe also shows, wait a minute, no, I also show that you only have 75.
Okay.
Al comes back, wait, you can't do that either. I only show that you have $75.
Okay.
So that then this block, the transaction, doesn't occur.
So the goes away.
That goes away.
It gets, there's probably a technical term for this, but essentially it's not allowed onto the
It's
system.
not allowed, yes.
Okay.
So it doesn't happen. So the transaction doesn't happen.
So-
and Sam now shows that she still has the 75.
Okay. And so there's really no penalty to this outside of saying she couldn't do it.
Yes, there's no penalty.
All right.
There's no fine. There's no
Yes,
fees.
there's no fees. Ooh.
Currently.
Okay, so so that goes back, and that's one of the reasons that there's these things that take time to do this.
Yes.
Because everybody has to come back and say, no, don't add this to the ledger because it doesn't make sense.
Yep. And so yeah, this is actually why it takes that 10 minutes.
Okay.
Is for this to happen, for everybody to see this on a page and going, no, that doesn't exist. We're gonna send it back, saying send it back to the internet, the big huge cloud that we're all in, saying no, it's not gonna happen.
And the clear thing is for this, just because I'm going to be what I am, it's not like Bob and Al and Joe are actually looking at this. This is their ledger is actually looking at it and saying, no, this is all happening in the background.
It's all happening in the background, yeah. So I mean, yeah, they're not going and looking at it and going, nope, that's a bad transaction. They're
Well, what happens if Joe's not online?
then he's not online.
Okay, so
He can't then that transaction.
yeah. Can't be checked.
He can't test. Can't go. No, that's wrong. No, that's right.
Well, how many people does it have to say that it's wrong? Can just one person say it's wrong?
It has to be. So 50%
Okay.
have to come back and saying that that's right or wrong.
Okay. So 51% essentially have to say it's good.
Yes. From my research, it always says 50,
Okay.
which mathematically means we got a tie.
Yes. We don't like ties.
And in a tie situation, I haven't been able to find out.
Goes to the runner. Sorry.
So, but yeah, so more than 50%.
Okay. All right.
Say yes, that is a bad transaction, or yes, it's a good transaction.
So we're placing faith in the population to do the check.
Or faith. Actually, it's not actually faith in the population.
Okay.
We're taking faith in the ledger that everybody has.
Right. And that people are going to respond. And say,
Like you said, people aren't responding.
right.
They're online.
They're online. They're not. But if they're not, okay. But in this case, Joe's system isn't up for whatever reason.
Yep.
And so, but
Now we got-
it doesn't hold up the transaction
Doesn't hold up the
because
transaction.
2/3 of the of the population have said yes, this is a good transaction.
Yeah. So 50% is still here,
Right. Exactly.
even if it's. Yeah. So we have 5 people and 3 of them are out. We still have
Yeah.
50%.
We saw 50%. Okay. Got it.
So
So
the only way there would be only 50% if it's just 2 people.
okay. So we should probably all.
At that point, we would have a tie.
Yeah. So the key is, well, and that's probably not going to happen in real life.
In real life, yes.
So, but it is important to remember that for this, what the system is resilient to reflect that some people are not always going to be online. So it has that ability that if somebody goes away or somebody's ledger goes away, that's not a problem in the pointing process.
It doesn't affect the
Right.
process. Yes.
Unless 50% of them all die on us or aren't
Then we have
connected.
50%.
We have good point. We have a new 50%. Okay. But the nice thing about the ledger is it's kept track of all the people that are on the ledger.
So we're gonna get into So now, all the ledgers. So now we're gonna get into kind of how it showed the balance from previous.
Okay.
So now that we understand ledgers for the most part,
Okay.
the concept of ledgers and how they work.
All right.
Now we're gonna look at how the ledgers the 10-minute period, how that functions.
What happens in that 10-minute period from when I kick off a transaction and what happens next?
Yep.
Cool.
So in a block, in a ledger, so we're gonna start calling them blocks.
Okay.
So in a block, when a block is created,
Okay.
there are 3 things in the block.
Okay.
You have data,
Always good.
okay, which can be currency, can be contracts, can be any data.
Right. Ones and zeros and
zeros
that means something.
To some of us. If you can read ones and zeros, you're awesome. And not just, oh, that's a 1, that's a 0. The second part of the block is a hash. So Al, what is a hash?
So a hash is used to be able to describe that demonstrates the accuracy of the information. The data is calculated, it's run against a formula, and it provides a number at the end that says, oh, all that number run against this calculation results in this amount. And we can get into more of the details of how that's done, but basically demonstrates that it should be done that any change to the data would result in a different hash number.
So a formula that breaks down the data into a hash, into a string of numbers and letters.
Yes.
And if that data changed, if a period changed, if a space changed, the hash would be a different number.
Right, because the calculation would provide a different number, and that's why the calculation formats are really important.
Yes. So, on the first block of a chain
Okay?
is called a Genesis block.
Ooh, sounds like something out of Star Trek.
I know.
Welcome to my head.
Okay, so you get so is a Genesis hash. Basically showing, hey, I'm the first of its kind.
Okay?
Then that block is created. Once that block is created, we're going to start that block. We're going to start a new block.
Okay.
So everybody's going to put their transactions up to the new block.
Okay.
So all that data is now on this new block. For that block to become a block,
Right.
it gets hashed.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and this is happening. So this is so all the data isn't just okay. We've now 10 minutes. Now let's do a new page. No, this could take 10 minutes, or it could take 20 minutes.
All right.
Once the calculation of the old hash, the previous hash. So in the data, they're depending on the chain, it's gonna ask for time, name, who.
Yeah, it's gonna create the date time for each of the transactions in
Yep.
there, so you've got some validity.
And yeah, and every chain has a different set of rules
Okay.
on what kind of information they need for data to be for a transaction to occur.
Okay.
So when that next block is being calculated,
Okay.
and this could take 5 minutes, it could take 10 minutes.
All right.
Everybody's continually putting in their data,
Right.
so the data number is changing constantly.
Sure, because it's getting added up.
That hash is being constantly changed.
Okay, so it's being recalculated every time somebody drops more data into
more.
that component.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Seems inefficient, but okay.
this is why it takes 10 minutes. And once that the calculation goes, yes, this is the correct hash for the data that's in there,
Okay.
that block is created.
Okay.
And so in that block, you got the data, the previous hash, and the new hash.
Okay. And we have the previous hash. Why?
To link it so that this previous hash, isn't part of that data.
Right. Okay.
So the new hash has taken the old hash
Okay.
and added that old hash into the new data.
Okay. So it's a way of determining linkage
Yes,
and validity between the blocks.
between the blocks.
Okay.
So that block then happens. We got that block is then created. The hash is figured out. The new hash is figured out, and that block is created. So then the next continuous transactions that are happening are being put in a new block.
Okay.
In that block, on the it's going to have the previous hash for it to run calculations from that. So that previous hash and the new data is going to come up with a new hash.
Okay.
So once that new calculation is done and the hash is figured out, so the hash is a mysterious number that programs are being run. They're called miners that are running this program and trying to figure out the hash, but no one knows what that is.
Oh, so they're backing into the calculation?
Yes.
So they're determining what the calculation is that gives them the hash.
So when that block is created, there needs to be a proof of work.
Okay.
How was that done? That is sent out, and if everybody agrees, that block is created. So the block is essentially has the old hash, which is
Okay.
included in the data.
Okay.
And so that old hash and the data now have a new number,
Okay.
but all the new transactions are making that data change constantly.
Okay.
And then there's a random number assigned to it that says this is what it should be.
And then it's up to
Figure out math.
and somebody has to do the math to determine.
This is why
What
the
that-
computers run so hard, because it's running. How does this work? How does this work? How does this?
How do I back into that number?
Yep. Yes. So once a block is created, it cannot be modified.
Okay. Got it.
If someone would try to change the data, which then would then change the hash of that block,
Okay.
the future hash, previous hash,
Previous hash.
would be different.
Right. Absolutely.
And then when you send it out to everybody saying, hey, this is the actual
Okay.
part of it, they go, no, that's incorrect.
Right.
We're not going to accept that.
And we'll get into some of the details at a high level of how the hash is calculated and everything comes together within this. So Al doesn't get down in the weeds because he can get easily confused.
Yes. So how a hash is created will be a whole separate video because that is another long topic, and we're going to try to stay within at least 45 minutes for this video. To kind of go through what we've gone through already, we now know what a ledger is.
Okay.
We now
And a ledger is a set of transactions.
okay, and a shared ledger is
Set of transactions that everybody knows and everybody can recognize all the transactions on the ledgers because it's all one shared ledger sitting in their environment.
yes. Okay. So and a ledger is a block.
Set of blocks.
Set of blocks. So the ledger is a book. The blocks are the pages in that book.
Sure.
Okay, just to
Yeah, works.
we'll go with it.
I'm old. I can understand books and pages.
Yeah,
I
sure.
like books and pages.
Sure can. So, and so those blocks then are linked together through essentially it's called a hash.
Okay.
Essentially a calculation.
Okay.
And there's a term. How that block is created is done by a miner,
Right, which we'll go into later.
and which we'll have a video on that once that down the road. Once that video is created, we'll hopefully link it to this video. So if you want to find out what a miner is, click here.
If you want to hear about how a miner works from us, there's lots of other places. We will try to make it explainable and maybe a little funny, and maybe you can correct us.
Yes. If we've said anything that's incorrect, please make a comment down below and correct us.
Yeah, we take abuse well. Just ask my boss, David's wife.
So we now, then we know what a blockchain is. Essentially a set of blocks linked together through the hash, the previous hash.
Right. So they share the hashes. So that's how they demonstrate linkage. Got it.
Okay. And so if someone wants to then say, no, I didn't send Al $100, he couldn't do that because that hash for that block would change.
So the data would have been there would have been a difference in the data.
Yep, which would have
So the
made
hash would be different.
completely
Right.
different.
Okay. And the nice thing about this from a forensics perspective is all the data is listed as a series of transactions, and each chain can actually, from the review of the chain, you can see all the transactions that have occurred across the life of that chain.
The life of that chain from that Gen 1.
Right.
And so when you go to join a chain, join a blockchain, whatever, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever that is, you download the entire chain.
Okay.
From day one.
And so we obviously have some data privacy things that we'll get into, as well as to how we maintain anonymity on a chain.
Yep.
So obviously, we don't want everybody to know what Sam's been doing if they're known as Sam, but it's going to be known as some character as opposed to Sam.
So yeah, so everybody in this, your name isn't shown. There's a assigned number to you.
Right.
And we will get to that in a separate video that Al can actually break down and kind of go through his security side of things, what is good and what is bad.
Nobody told me there was going to have to be learning in this.
Oh yeah. So why blockchain?
Okay.
Why should I do it? Is it a good thing? What is it blockchain trying to do? So Al is in the United States. David is out in England looking at castles.
Right.
Because he loves castles.
He used to make castles all the time at home until he set them on fire.
So, for Al to send David $100, he has to go through a third party.
Right.
So, currently, that takes from 24 to 7, maybe even longer, depending, maybe a little bit shorter, depending on the service.
Right. It takes time.
Takes time. And depending on the service, there is also a fee.
Got to pay for the service somehow.
Pay for the service, right?
No such thing as a free lunch.
This is why the third parties make money.
Right.
Right? So what blockchain, cryptocurrency, is trying to do is get rid of, one, the fee.
Okay.
2, the time.
Okay.
3, the third party all around.
Okay.
So that way Al can send money directly into David's account, no matter what account he has.
So this is what we would call the peer-to-peer network.
This is a peer-to-peer network.
Okay.
And this is why blockchain is a peer-to-peer network.
Right.
So this is what the blockchain is trying to do.
So you could send me money too.
Yes.
Not that he ever has.
Not that I ever. I have one. So with that, hopefully you have enjoyed our breakdown of what blockchain is. So that's kind of the understanding of what blockchain is and what blockchain is trying to do. So that's kind of the concept.
So going back, just a quick review of this to kind of pull it together as we've kind of rambled through this stream of consciousness approach to training. So again, blockchains basically is a set of peer-to-peer communications to exchange data in a manner that maintains anonymity and accuracy. There's several other factors we'll get into to do this. It's immutable, some other things there. We walked through the concept of a ledger and then a distributed ledger, what David called a shared ledger, what we typically would call a distributed ledger.
Sure. Yep.
And then, because everybody has that, and why that provides value to know that it's all there. We also talked just a little bit about the fact the data can be exchanged isn't just currency or numbers, it can also be contracts, actions, etc. And we'll get into all of those things later. But the key part of this thing is, as this gets built, it's really a part of saying, how can I take that, quote, trusted, but maybe not fully trusted, third party out of the communication, and instead build a set of communications where there is joint trust, because I can rely upon everybody in the network because they're all checking each other's accuracy.
True.
So a lot of value to blockchain in doing that because, one, we would clearly no longer have to trust the bank, per se, or whatever institution is there. And by building in the anonymity to this process, it allows for a lot more, I'm going to say, openness of what can be done and validation. So on that, I think I've confused myself enough for the day.
Sure.
You have added a ton of confusion for me. We will continue to learn. This is probably not going to be done every week.
No, this is going to be a series. We will probably stretch this out over the next few months. That way our videos get better on video, better and better as we go along with this.
So yes, you're along as we learn this process too. Eventually, I actually want to get us to the point where we actually walk through building a smart contract online, and so you can see how that's done, and actually do that in a test mode, so I can actually have a contract with David so that he actually gets work done.
And we'll send money back.
Yeah, like that's ever going to happen.
And then we'll kind of talk to, so how is a block created? What is what is a miner doing? What is their job, and what's their function in this whole concept?
And we'll probably find a couple of good books on this that I can recommend as well as we continue learning, because clearly I'm going to need to learn this better than just out of David wandering.
And this is, we'll try to put a couple links for you to down below for you to look at, reach out and go, hey, let me research for myself.
So, and please, please, please add some comments to this. Help provide some clarifying comments to us as needed. Part of learning is interactiveness.
Yep.
And so we can learn as you talk to us, and everybody else that's watching these videos can also learn by looking at the comments.
Yep. And we would love direction. If we're headed down the wrong direction on the concept or an idea, let us know.
God, you sound like my boss now because I get that comment all the time. You're going down the wrong path.
So with that, don't forget to like and subscribe. And then hit the bell notification. So when the next video comes up, you'll be notified.
Happy trails, guys. It's going to get a little squirrelier as we go.